Okay, light beings, come on in, get comfortable. Today, this is going to be another tarot and talk. Now, the tarot and talks are collective messages for anyone ascending, anyone who wants information about their own unique ascension, their journey, their career, their relationships, love, money, ascension, the psyche, the mind, the mental space. I've got a range of different decks out. I'm going to go in on them. I've been guided to use these decks, and 2 of them are relationship decks, 3 of them actually, intimacy decks. So we're going to talk about that today because there's been a lot of conversation coming up for me energetically around giving and receiving in love. If you haven't already watched the Brahma, the Creator piece, I would go and watch that because we really talk about yin and yang, masculine and feminine principles in that, and Gaia and Ra in regards to creation. We speak about creation in so many different ways. Also, following this, I am going to bring out the ecological system. I may mention the ecological system quite a bit in this transmission, so actually I'll bring out the ecological piece first. So go and watch the ecological piece. I'll keep it short and sweet on what the ecological system is, so you understand the context of the conversation when we're talking about you. This is really important, guys. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about philosophical constructs. We're talking about your personal life day to day. If you are engaging with this, this is higher level awakening. This is for people that are awakening in corporate worlds. These are not the people who have the opportunity and the freedom to kick back and relax on the beach drinking Mai Tais in Thailand. We have to get on with our everyday life. We are building big corporations. We are in institutions. We're working with government. We're into politics. We're working in finance, cryptocurrency. We're working in arenas where religion and spirituality up until this point has no space. If we shared openly what we did in our homes, how we dressed in our free times, we would be laughed out of the board meeting. The language and the communication styles that we often share would not be accepted in that room, so we have to code switch in communication when we're in certain settings. Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir. And that's okay, that's life. Because we're not going to get that paycheck and that coin if we can't code switch and communicate effectively in different environments and meet the social standard. As I scream non-conformity, I also scream, bitch, you better conform real quick when you step through that threshold and go into that meeting if you want that fucking funding. You're going to have to lose that fucking swear words as well the moment you step through the threshold. But the moment that you step back out of the Stargate and you return to your own natural dimension and you go home and you strip off all your clothes and get back to your Tibetan bowls and your piercings and your jewelry and your tribal markings on your face and your powwow music... Or it could be hip-hop, it could be trance, it could be a little ragga, a little jungle, a little hip-hop, whatever it is for you. We come back to self, we get into that salt bath, we cleanse and ascend, we align to the Most High. But when we unalign to the Most High, difficult conversation to have because we do have to unalign to the Most High. If we are working for the institution, we have to choose to unalign to the Most High and call someone else our Most High for a period of time. This is even more painful to deliver for those of you that do work a 9 to 5 and you have a boss and a manager, especially if your boss and manager is a wanker. Even more in messages and synchronicity in here for you today, because I'm going to help you find healthy ways to transmute that vibration in the office. Because I remember a conversation I once had with a personal assistant who worked in corporate. She had a very serious corporate job at a very well-recognised company, right? Big tech industries, really out there in the centre of London. So with jobs like that, and you're a PA, yet you're incredibly spiritual. You're doing your own side hustle with Tibetan bowls, singing bowls, music, dance, all what we would call tree huggers Anonymous, right? The Tree Huggers Anonymous community. And then she's still got to go in every day and basically serve the CEO, right? Sit in the board meeting with the CEO, the CRO, the CTO, the CF. I mean, all of the people in the highest positions just sit there and be a mute in the room taking notes. Like she hasn't been put on this planet for a higher purpose, with a higher reason, with a higher level of destiny attached to her existence in the now moment within that space and time, you know? So we're going to look at that and see the significance of all of that. Go and get a beverage, go and unwind. I've got a little cocktail here, and I'm not even going to tell you what time of the day it is. I'm not going to tell you what day it is and what time it is, because I don't want to alarm anyone or piss anyone off. But I am indeed sitting here with a ginger wine spritzer at an unprecedented time of the day. But it feels like a day for celebration. So please, whatever the time is, I'm not even a big drinker. I rarely drink. And today just feels like a day to raise a glass. So with me in the now moment, before we start shuffling the cards, thank you so much for joining me. Please do hit like and subscribe. Go and pause this right now. Get your glass, get your beverage, come back, and we're going to cheers. Cheers to the computer, the laptop, the TV, to the screen, to my content. A big cheers, because we are off and we are ascending and we are aligned and we are moving into arenas where what we believe in and what is often seen as pseudo is now having to be acknowledged a little bit more, because we've decided to break the mold today. Yeah? Oh dear. Gorgeous beverage. Beverage. So let's go. Interesting cards that I would never personally compile. I would never put these decks together in the now moment, especially with the way in which I'm talking to you now. So I'm incredibly intrigued about where we're actually going to go on this journey today. We're definitely going within the psyche. There's definitely going to be periods of time of talking and stillness. I'm going to suggest that this content's going to last us about 45 minutes from now. And I'm going to see there is relationships. We all have clairsentient abilities. We're all ascending in unique ways. So with that in mind, just know that you can do this too. You are all high priestesses. You are all clairvoyant to a certain degree, clairaudient to a certain degree. But prior to 2016, I did not see spirit. 2015, I did not see spirit. Now I see spirit, talk to spirit, get guided by spirit, and I've been paid for that service and done mediumship for other people who have confirmed the spirit I am seeing is actually their deceased relative. Imagine that. If that could occur and happen to me suddenly, after being on this planet for 27 years of life, no real change in my lifestyle up until that point, but suddenly now I see spirit. Anyone else would assume that that's a psychotic break. You're not well, love. You're going to want to have to go and check yourself in with a gov. You might need to head off to one of those mental institutions, darling. You might need a full-on psych valve, darling. But actually people are giving me money and saying, wow, yes, that is my uncle you speak of. You said it was a cousin. You said they died this way. You're talking about a granddad who looks like this, dressed like this. You're giving me the name this. Yes, that is my grandma. Whoa. Then what is life as we know it? And why are we all plodding along in the matrix as if nothing else exists, huh? So let's find out what the divine want you to know today through this transmission. For even I am intrigued. Because the first deck I'm using it provides masculine and feminine narratives. And I feel like this is more about you than it is anyone else. So I'm very intrigued. Yes, I'm looking at the infinity symbol, and I'm looking at the relationship you have with yourself. If you identify as non-binary, this could be the most profound content you ever watch in your life about your non-binary identity. If you don't identify as non-binary, then this will just be just as significant. But because you don't hold that label, just hold the ideologies of the yin and yang within you, the sun and moon. If you manifest under the moon as well, you'll understand that context. Some of this could also be transferable to anyone you've been in a relationship with. Your relationship styles, your archetypes, your personality types, yeah? All of this stuff relevant here. I want to talk about variables a lot as well, so we're going to go there. But once again, I want to remind you about the significance of the ecological system content and how the variables I speak about will link to those different systems, yeah? So straight away, I'm looking at the infinity symbol, 8-8. And I'm looking at love existing on the spectrum of that 8. From the light to the dark and the center within the middle of truly knowing love, truly knowing self. The most beautiful thing about a spiritual journey, and I say that loosely because in the same breath I say beautiful, I say toxic, sinister, painful, destructive, heartbreaking, because you're choosing to go on a spiritual journey, which is a solo journey. And although a mate could have brought you on it because they like crystals and they gave you a Reiki class, or they were into tarot and you had one reading, or you had one dream or one message that told you were destined for more, and you couldn't denounce that thread of consciousness, so now you've ended up on a spiritual journey and you're on your own with it. Might have family and friends on it as well, but they're not doing the inner work. They're not actually taking time to look within the psyche. They are merely reading tarot on the surface, playing with crystals on the surface, saging their house and dancing around on the surface, banging their Tibetan bowls on the surface. Surface level wokeness is a thing. And it is set to destroy our society in major ways. Because why are we going to want to associate with woke cultures that really do not understand the internal self? Once again, I speak a lot about the LGBT community. You can go over to Hermatology Me, where we speak about these conversations a lot more over there. But what I will pin here with the hermatologist on the Hermatologist channel is I have such a distaste for a lack of understanding within the LGBT community of their own labels and identity. Same as spirituality. I understand we have to go on a journey to find it. But I've seen so many news feeds. Someone on Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's asking people simple questions of what does it mean to be a woman? You've transitioned you're transitioning from female, or from male to female. You've been simply asked what it means to be a woman, and you don't have the answers. So you're implying you're woke, you're implying you're a woman, you're implying that you have another level of consciousness or deeper awareness of self. But when asked a very simple conversation about what a woman is, you cannot even find a definition. Yet you've chosen to take that label on, grow your hair out, wear makeup, get a cute crop top and skirt and heels, scream at the rest of the world for calling them transphobic. But you don't know what a woman is, and you don't know how to define that. That's not going to wash in 2024. Screaming transphobia is not going to wash in 2024. And I advocate for trans and I advocate for non-binary. I believe in the non-binary. I really support you guys and I love you with all my heart. And that's why I'm taking the time to say, hey, get to know your shit. Because you can't expect the rest of the world to advocate for you, support you and stand by you if you can't even understand why you're calling yourself what you're calling yourself. And I know it takes time, but that means you go in as a hermit and you do the inner work and you find the labels and you find your own unique identity before you start singing it from the rooftops. You can wear a dress and a skirt and makeup and do whatever you want to do without going forward and screaming, I'm woman, I'm this, I'm that, accept me now. You best accept me, world. It's realistic. It's admirable. And I value you guys for your fight because I've seen the abuse. I've felt the abuse personally. That's why I fight with you so strong. That's why I think it's so important to have these kind of conversations. Anyone else who's just waiting for me to get over the LGBTQ part of the conversation, the non-binary conversation, let's fucking throw it to you then. Because what is really non-binary and the trans? It's an infinite symbol. From light to dark, it's the masculine and feminine principle. The non-binary and the trans community are the only ones brave enough to bring those ethereal conversations into the 3D. And they're doing it through labels. They're taking the masculine principle, the feminine principle, the moon, the sun, the logic, the intuition, the mother Gaia, the Ra, very spiritual beings they all are, trans and non-binary. But they haven't found the segue between understanding it's not just about the gender label, it is about the internal self, the light and dark, the higher and lower consciousness. They've been shoved into evolution. They've been somewhat forcibly evolved because of their disassociation with self. And it's not a mental health problem. It's not a concern. It's just an imbalance between what the 3D reality and labels are versus what the internal constructs are. Because once again, code switching is a thing. Variables are a thing. Yes and no are a thing. Binary system, binary code, 0-1, on, off. Brodford Brenner's ecological system, also the developmental philosophy he also introduced regarding binary scaffolding and what that actually means. If we are not if there is no scaffolding around our aura, around our energy, around our labels, around our sense of self, then something's going to fall off. Because at any moment there can be Trojans, cyber attacks, hacks, tracking, errors in the code. We are the original A1 program. Before ChatGPT took over, before the evolution of space and time into 23, back in the days when we just had horse and carriages, before we even had clothes and we were mere Neanderthals, not even knowing man and woman, just knowing, he has long thing. It gets hard when he looks at her. Her boobies bigger than mine. My boobies don't grow. Her boobies grow. Why her boobies grow? And now there's milk coming out of the boobie. My boobie no milk, your boobie no milk. When you put that long thing into that hole, baby comes. We need more babies, for we need more milk. That's the Neanderthal story. I just took you on there. That's the start of time. And let's go there, because this is clearly important as we've only got the infinity symbol out and we're really diving in today. Because that is the conversation first and foremost. At the start of time, Neanderthals were all that was known on the land. Yeah? And that being the case, we had man and woman. You can say they're descendants of Adam and Eve. We can talk about the creation of space-time another day. Go and watch Brahma, the creator. That explains it all. But depending on what BC you want to pull on, right? We're going to go straight to the Neanderthal era. We're going to say that there is a female and a male, but they've never said woman, man, penis, vagina. They don't know those words. They only know We're evolving from apes. We're looking, we're pointing, real things. That's it. That's all we've got. But it got to the point of evolution where as all we were all kissing and connecting, and it was all one giant Neanderthal orgy, polyamorous love fest. To the point where we started realizing, whoa, the species with the hole in them, who we thought were the weaker sex, because they didn't have the long thing that's pissed out, that let piss out of it, the cool pissing thing that we got. Moist Master, go over to my other content, Hermatology Me, and look at the understanding of the penis story that I bring out over there. Oh my God, now they're bearing child. Imagine the first child born into the Neanderthal community. Suddenly, the belly's growing. 9 months later, they're all screaming. They're like, what the fuck's going on? You were getting really fat. We started cutting down your food supply. Wasn't expecting you to bear fucking child. Out pops a newborn. Shit. Evolution. Okay, then we start doing it more and more. Then we realise the more that these penises insert into the vagina, we realise, whoa, procreation speeds up. Got to the point where everyone started to say, do you know what? We've got to separate you because you can't all keep having sex at this rate. Men, you're going to have to live in that hut now. Women, you're going to have to live in that hut now because we haven't even got enough food on the land. With the land is dry, everything's becoming barren because there's too much. We're overpopulated. Even the Neanderthals was like, oh, no more leaves on trees, no more foraging, no more fish in water. Awful accent, I'm sorry, I'm doing my best to break this down, but you're with me, right? Stay in the vision. So following that, we've already got segregation. Men over there, women over there. Do you know what, women? We're going to make you do these tasks. We're going to make you do these things. Men, we're going to make you do these things. We're going to make you look after this. And only now and then, under specific circumstances, where the rest of the commune agree and you have a ceremony, wedding, ritual, agreement from the rest of the tribe, you've asked for someone's hand in marriage, wonder where that stemmed from systematically, there you go, that you can now be united and you can have as much sex as you want. We've ordained it. We've all proved it. We'll have a ceremony and a partnership because now you can procreate and have sex after your wedding and turn up and the population's going to be controlled. What an important conversation this is when we talk about humanity and we talk about the pandemic and we talk about overpopulation, depopulation, trying to control the planet. China, with their limitations on how many people can breed. That's the Neanderthal story playing out right now, in the current moment, from the start of time, in relation to the Neanderthal story I've just told you. Do you receive that? So that's where man and woman came from. Only when we realised it was affecting the population did we truly need to go, right, fucking hell, you're a man. You got a fucking penis. Put that in the fucking Oxford Dictionary, hold that firm. All right, over there, you're a fucking feminine, you got a vagina, you got a fucking womb. All right. Do you know what? Furthermore, we're going to have to get these Neanderthals to start fucking cutting you lot open when you die because we're going to have to see what's in there. We're going to have to see what the fuck's going on inside of you. First scientist born. First evolution of the smart ones. They also started to realise, little bits of shrapnel, bit of glass on the eye, magnify in on that little bit of the body. Let's really inspect that vagina. We've had to start doing C-sections because that baby nearly died. That mother died in childbirth. Evolution, people. Evolution. Right, so we're going to keep going. Love that we're 15 minutes in and we've just gone on a whole unexpected journey. I love when this happens. So we're going to do a lot more tarot and talks. If you do enjoy this, hit the like, yeah? This is about ascension. This is about our unique journeys across space and time and how they do relate, and we can pin them back to any period of space-time. We can go anywhere in mythology and faith and spirit and archaeology and any period of time and find a true thread that links to the now moment. That's the truth of the matter, guys. Going to see if anything else wants to come out. I think this is it from this deck, you know. They're saying, yeah, you're done. They just wanted me to see that infinity symbol and make that connection in the head. Once again, when I'm as a clairvoyant, the main thing that's helped me with the overflowing visions that I got when I first started receiving visions, right? If you want me to speak about the telltale signs of spiritual awakening, not the ridiculous stuff that's been out there for decades now, but when you actually start having psychological, ethereal, what I would refer to as AR, SR experiences, where you start to see what would be called AR now, that's not even developed yet, but will be called AR in the future. Clairvoyants are already living in AR. Every single day I live and breathe, let's be real, my reality is somewhat AR. I've managed it now, but when I first awoke in 2016, when I talk about awakening, I could say I awoke before that, I've been awakening way before that, but I pin 2016 as the significant awakening because that's when my reality became AR. That's when everything around me in regards to clairvoyance was visible the other side was visible to me in the now moment. People's auras were visible to me in the now moment. Everything was now a whole different thing. 4K, HD, Kodak. The moment was crystal clear. Yeah? So I'm going to go in with another deck. And it looks very interesting here as well. 2 cards out straight away. I'm not going to take them because I want to shuffle a little more just to make sure whatever's really destined to come out, destiny at the bottom of the deck as I say that, really finds its way to the surface, yeah? Because there is a story here that I'm going to go in on. This is going to be a story for you coming up now, okay? So we've just laid the foundation with that Neanderthal story to really make you understand gender. And that is in relation to yin and yang, yeah? So let's keep going, shall we? Let's see what else the divine wants us to know. I also hope that this kind of content I'm sharing with you, it encourages you to look at trans and non-binary different. Whether you do or don't like them, I haven't got time to worry about what your preference is and how comfortable you are with it. And I'm not going to beg you to receive the others if you're uncomfortable with it. And non-binary trans individuals, I'm not going to just stand by and just fight for a whole collective who can't even tell me what a woman is. But I will stand by you if you reach out to me and you talk to me and we connect. And I will stand by anyone being abused in the industry or in the community. And I will stand up for you to have your own rights and freedom of speech and liberation. I will stand for anyone and whatever they believe in, as long as they can talk about it to me and justify it to my face. But no, I'm not going to stand by a whole community when half of them say they're a woman but they can't explain what a woman is. And in the moment they get challenged, they backtrack, they ain't got the words. If you ain't got the words, then just rest until you do have them. Go and study the words. Because a lack of research and a lack of knowledge is embarrassing to all of us trying to pave our unique ways forward. Because we are one. And I touch on the LGBTQ community of it way easier than I do on the spiritualist of it. Because if I start going on people who claim to be spiritual but ain't spiritual and don't know a damn fucking spiritual thing, but they read tarot once in their life, got one tarot deck they use in their bedroom every fortnight, and they claim that they're woke. I don't even go and talk about them because it's not even worth it. Because hear my voice, hear my tone. So people claiming the word of God. There's one incident, right, where I went to some kind of casting event, and I've been aware of this guy in the industry, like some like YouTuber community stuff, and I've attended a casting event, and I've always disliked this guy. I know he's an absolute narcissist, giant prick in the scene he is. Everyone's aware of it. He's totally crumbled and collapsed since then, obviously, because destiny was on the way. When you see me, no, destiny is around the corner, mate. And as I'm standing up and talking, he's had the audacity, I'm sharing my story as a medium and a spiritualist, and he's had the audacity to look at me and say, I'm God. I'm the only God in the room. Or something stupidly narcissistic like that. Blown away I was. Because I thought, this motherfucker doesn't know me. He doesn't know that I walk with a whole fucking team of deities and gods behind me, and I know they've heard it. Look at my fucking halo. You can't see the halo above my head. You're confused. Nothing worse than someone who claims they are God when they are actually the devil. There's nothing worse than that. Because in that moment, God heard that and he's like, oh, you think you're my child? Devil, take him, please. The ledger's been weighed up. The scales have been weighed. That motherfucker's on your side. Take him down to the fucking lair. And so when he said that to me, I looked and I actually was I was humble, but I stuck my middle finger up and made a comment about the fact that definitely is incorrect. And it's just a reminder of just, I guess, trying to stay humble and know that people are going to claim the word of God and claim to be God. I've been ridiculed and battered and beaten mentally and emotionally for claiming that I speak to God and that I have the word of God. People very close to me really didn't believe me. They believed that their God was correct and my ideologies are wrong, and how I was showing up, especially on social media, was pretty much disgusting and blasphemous in the name of the Lord. Yet I still walk with God every day, and he talks to me in every given moment, and I have not a shadow of doubt that God is with me in the now moment. So if anyone else out there truly believes that they are walking with God in the now moment, and I ask you some questions to justify your Lord in the now moment, and you can't deliver, don't be offended if I say, okay, I understand you're on a spiritual journey. I value your contribution and your faith in God and your desire to be the word of God and the voice of God. But in the now moment, looking at your aura and energy and what you're saying to me and reciting, it doesn't say God to me. And that's okay, because family have done the same to me. And actually, if their doctrine and their God is different, they have every right to denounce me in the now moment. If you dissociate from me, denounce me, darling. Denounce me, babe. Yes. Love a little bit of denunciation over here, because it shows that you're independent and you're unique and you're standing by your own faith and you're unaligned to my vision. And that's also okay. We're different species. I'm not going to spend my weekends hanging around with Klingon, speaking Klingon, for they are not my kind. And that's all right. So I would expect you to denounce me in those instances. For our own sanity. Amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Jesus Christ. But you can't take away from my truth. For if I go and speak about Mother Gaia and the shaman and Ra and Brahma, and then I talk about Jesus, and I talk about Allah, then I talk about the tree of life, in those moments, I belong freely across the spectrum of all of those ideologies. And my God exists within all of that. The source is embedded in all of those ideologies uniquely. And I would like to be fluid in the now moment and wiggle my way in and out of those different constructs and elements. Deities, angels, gods and goddesses, yeah, they all exist. Yeah, they all raise me up, lift me up in any given moment. And we should be allowed to believe and perceive the world in that way. But it is important for us to be challenged. Any community, LGBT, spirituality, woke or not woke, we must be challenged. For the challenge allows us to analyse, think about, reconsider, improve our ideologies. What's so beautiful about the field of science and white papers and literature is you publish a paper, you get it out, and it gets peer reviewed. That's what's sexy about it. You're going to get loads of peers coming back saying, well, actually, don't stand for that part, don't stand for that part, I validate that, I invalidate that, I would actually change that model, spin it round back, twist it into 4D, 5D, flip it back round, send it to your mum over there in China, and then ask her to run it underneath the steamroller. I don't know, let's not get stereotypical or borderline racist over here. But the point is, it's about experimenting in life, and life is one social experiment. And there are a lot of philosophies and theses I'm sitting on about universal law. So I'm not going to get too analytical with you now and spoil the future thread of what is so important for humanity. But what I will share is the world is clearly constructed scientifically. The higher-ups know how the world is modelled and framed within an ecological system, within Brodford Brenner's framework, and with the variables within all of that account for us and our functioning today. The AI, the big tech, the industry, the code, the numbers and the variables we're all running on now, and that we're teaching and using as models in our sectors and our schools and in our scientific research, the proposals, the frameworks, the templates that are all being used in miniature versions like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Erickson's psychosocial stages of development, Brodford Brenner's ecological system. I could go all day. We could talk about Tesla's numbers. We could talk about Einstein's formulas. They are all ingrained into the main frame. And if you're looking at it from a bird's eye view, looking down on Earth, out beyond the common line, you will see that the world is just ticking over with all those noughts and ones. The whole Earth itself is capsized and surrounded by a binary scaffolding system that is actually now crumbling because of AI and because of the lack of regional, compliance. No one's complying regionally. We would rather war and fight and dissociate, even though we do have the United Nations. Why are we bothering? Let's dissociate from the whole thing together and let's just hone in on our region, our part of the water. Before there was water on Earth, it was a dry land. No separation. The Neanderthals were on the land and there was no water, just little cracks within the foundation, just little cracks. They had to find specific ways to get that pure filtered water coming through. It was harder them time. But over time and as part of evolution, we speak about the Ice Age. I've got content out about Earth consciousness in the Ice Age, predictions. With all of that, the water has separated. The Earth has separated and broken away and corroded. And water has become more of a thing. First we had cracks, then we had puddles, then we had streams, then we had rivers, now we have oceans. Years and years and years from now, the rivers and the cracks and the streams are going to be oceans. Yeah? That's how life works. That's the cycle of evolution, guys. So let's keep going, shall we? This is going to be a story for you, as I said, but goodness me, did we just fly around the moon and back? Yeah. Now I'm looking at a card and it's talking to me about undressing the truth. Undressing the truth to move towards destiny and to start to have a new beginning in life. Interesting, when I pull on these cards, I don't know if I've got someone connecting with me who's really emotional at this time. If you are, I'll send you so much love and light and healing, okay? Because every time I get to a certain card that speaks about destiny and a new beginning, I get hit with that heart chakra, throat chakra fusion. No, and my heart chakra and my throat chakra in that immediate moment become one. They do a full-on backflip in line with each other in a binary system, yin and yang style, and they flow in and out of me. Yeah, so it's like the yin and yang symbol floating half in my physical vessel and half out, just outside of my auric field, just spinning around and round. And in that moment, it makes me want to cry because I'm overwhelmed. And I'm shaken up and I can't believe this is life. I can't believe this is reality. I can't believe all of this is really happening. How? How is this possible? Yeah? That's what I keep getting. How is it possible? How is it possible? How is it possible? And that's the beauty of life, isn't it? That's the beauty of ascension. And I really want you to start believing in yourself, okay? Because if you are the person sending me this transmission now going, how is it possible, hermatologist? How are you doing this? I don't understand. Or I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe I'm going through this. She's affirming everything I believe in. I totally agree. I'm overwhelmed by the prophecy. I'm overwhelmed about my fate and my future. I always foresaw this, but I never foresaw this. Do you get it? I always foresaw this. I always had this in my foresight, but I never foresaw this, because the 3D manifestation is always different to the inner thought, the inner vision. Yeah, the clairvoyance of what I see in my dream space. I've had dreams and visions of events that then happen the next day. I wake up and I see it on the news. The Westminster attacks, I saw that the moment I woke up on the news. Was it exactly 100% the same visions I had in my head? Not entirely. But was it the same woman that I saw in the news? Was it the same news feeds I saw? Yeah. I also saw a plane going down in Amsterdam full of Jewish Orthodox. All of them praying for life. All of the air mass coming out on the plane. I woke up. So I was in sleep state just before I woke up, and a bunch of Jewish Orthodox, beautiful souls, all praying in their language. I don't want to say the wrong language. I don't want to make any mistakes with that beautiful culture and everything they've been through. So much love to the whole community, okay? So much more respect we need to show everyone, every race, every religion. I don't want to get upset on the call, but it's so important to really love everyone and remove any disrespect and understand what every culture and community and religion has gone through to be here now. So much conversations going on at this time about racism and the hierarchy of racism. Let's just love everyone and stop forcing narratives and trying to pin other communities off against each other, claiming one is less or one is more. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to talk about it because I dare say the wrong thing on this platform. This is the one area I will be solid on, and we can't have any games here. So I saw the aeroplane going down. I saw them all praying. I saw the aeroplane hit the ground and get really, really close up to the airport window. It went glass. And it just stopped before it smashed. I saw it also go by one of the little towers that kind of, when they do all that kind of reporting in the sky where everyone manages it from comms. I saw it nearly hit the comms thing, hit the ground, to have a smooth landing, but a rocky one, and then ride all the way up to the glass. Any closer to the glass, it would have smashed through and fucked up the airport. Saw all of that. Woke up like, what the fuck have I just seen? 2 days later, I go on Daily Mail. I look at the news article and a plane in Amsterdam, exact same tower I saw in the sky. It's just managed to get past, its wing past it without clipping it. And it was full of Jewish Orthodox, I believe, heading to a very auspicious religious occasion. There's footage of them as well that was put on like a TikTok reel or whatever of all of them praying. Exactly what I saw in my dream. Exactly. Could not believe it. That was 2017. When I really was overflowed every single day. I woke up in 2016, vision. I knew what was going to happen in my day before the day had occurred, because I woke up with 4 or 5 visions or dreams, written them all down, and I would just go through the day. Oh, there's the 9 a.m. vision 1, 12 p.m. vision 2, 2 p.m. vision 4, 5 p.m. vision 5, 10 p.m. vision 6. Whatever it was, the visions were playing out like clockwork in the same order that I was having them in the dream space, or ethereally in the moment I woke up. That a moment you wake up is a very important time in sleep state, right? You got REM sleep, you got the different stages of sleep. The sleep cycle for the clairvoyant, right, is the phase where before an hour before you wake up, 20 minutes, let's say half an hour to 20 minutes before you wake up, dream state. And that is the most prophetic period of time where you're going to get prophecy. The dream looks different as well for me. The HD, the 4K, the fabrication, the elemental fractals within the dream look very different. It's a more lifelike than any other dream vision, like dream quality. Let's say quality of the dream, yeah? But there are periods of times where you are now awake, but you haven't opened your eyes yet. This is the prophecy window. You are awake. You know you are awake. You're talking to yourself in your head like, oh, I'm up now. But you haven't opened your eyes. In that moment, you could be flooded with visions. Either in the now moment, when you open your eyes, you see it actually in the 3D, depending on your clairvoyance level or the extent of the clairvoyance. Or you're getting it while you know you're now awake. It's no longer dream state. You have just arisen, but then your eyes are still closed and you're seeing vision. And that's more so of a lucid awakening, I would call it, because you're awake. You're aware you're awake, but it's still a lucid reality because your eyes are closed, and it's somewhat of more of a meditative state then. Transition from sleep state to wake state. The awakening with it, the clairvoyant awakening within that. The clairvoyance within that transition, and that is where you get the most profound things. Anything I've ever had in those states have always resulted in highly significant findings and synchronicities in my reality. I don't play around when I receive visions like that to that degree that are that strong, and they come through in that window of space-time, especially if it's one where I've opened my eyes. I've had an incident where I opened my eyes, which I always would do, but I had the vision a little bit while my eyes were closed. I was having a conversation in the moment while my eyes were closed with another, and then as I've opened my eyes, the vision has just boomeranged even wider into the 3D. I now see it authorally in front of me in a 4D vibration, and the vision's going on, and it's clear as day. And that's when you know, shit, this is serious. This is profound. You can't ignore something like that. Yeah? Really, really pivotal moments on the journey when you have these kind of experiences, guys. You've always got to log it in your journals, archive it, date and time stamp it, date it, log it on your ledger, whatever the case may be, right? Very significant. So with that, I'm looking at a really stable period of time in your life in the past. I don't even want to say it's the past. I want to say it's kind of where you're at now, but there is a need for you to undress more. If you're in a relationship, I want to go there sexually. I want to talk about being more intimate and getting all of your clothes off. If you're one of the people to have sex with your socks on, take them off, please. This is not me telling you my personal preference. This is just me saying, the divine saying, get it all off. Take it all off. You've got burdens, you've got baggage, you've got stress. You come in from the house after work, for example, and your partner's there, and you've got your bag on your back and your shoes on, and you've just come into the house and you've slumped over on the sofa and you're cuddling your partner with your hat on, your coat on, your hoodie on, your beanie on. Just take it all off immediately. Yeah? I would say that also in relation to Sadhguru, who always talks about the energies that you pick up. It's the most profound message I could share with anyone, because I've been hearing it way before Sadhguru said it to me, or said it to us. Sorry, I take things really personally when I see it online. I said I had a conversation with Elon. I didn't really. Sadhguru told me this. He didn't really personally tell me, but as an empath, when I'm listening to the transmission and I'm tweeting or reaching out to someone to a certain degree, that's just me and them and me sharing in the now moment. And I'm confident enough in certain degrees that I will actually have that real life conversation, and I will follow that up via email or right up the right chain at some point. So I just say what I say because I see what I see and I know where I'm going long term. So you feel free to also understand that we can talk in any context without any fear or judgment of how it may be perceived by other. Because anyone who has the time to analyse and pick holes in our form of speech clearly have nothing better to do with their time in the now moment, and they're probably not even on our calibre. And it's rude to speak about calibre and status, but I mean, we get to a point in the cycle where we realise the ones knocking us down haven't got a pot to piss in, you know. So I mean, let's not waste our time worrying about all the people who haven't got pots to piss in, and let's just keep pissing on ours, eh? So with that in mind, I'm looking at you taking it all off, letting go a little bit more. See someone washing their hair a lot more as well. Even if you're a masculine and you've got short hair, like give your hair a nice massage or something. Facial massage. Like I see beards, so like massaging your beard a little more. A lot more self-love and care. So like, do men shampoo their beards? Is their beard shampoo? I don't know. But I'm looking at a masculine here with a beard. I look at someone working on their abs and their muscles and getting really toned and ripped. I see a feminine here playing with her nipples as well. So, I mean, I don't know how we've got so intimate over here so quickly, but we have. And let's just take a minute we're going to keep it clean, but we're going to look at the third eye of the situation. It's about self-love and intimacy and wearing your crown. Crowning yourself, being the crowning glory in your own life. And that comes with really keeping a sacred home and a sacred space, and making sure all the energy that you're bringing in from outside, because we started this transmission talking about the institution, didn't we? We started talking about working for your manager or being a personal assistant and or working for others, being trapped in the slave system somewhat. So when you break away and you walk away and you let go and you choose to ascend in those moments, come back to your home, come back to your solid ground and nurture yourself or nurture your lover. Allow your lover to nurture them. Allow you to nurture you. So together, when you do come together, you automatically can nurture each other without even trying. Yeah? I speak a lot about that in the Kama Sutra reading, about intimacy and just allowing things to flow naturally because you love you. Because that takes away all the burdens from a connection. That removes all the struggle or the need. That removes all the thorns. I'm getting the visions of when you go on a hike. I love hiking. I love it. It's such a release and a relaxing moment. Just go for hours just trotting along trails. You never know where you're going to end up. You don't know how long you're going to be out there for. It's really reflective of the spiritual journey in the 3D moment. You don't know what animals you're going to find. Sometimes if I go out really early, one time, I just had to get the fuck out of the house and just trek it. So, and I say hike, but there's not really hills or mountainy areas where I go. It's just practically up in forest, land upon land. So while I'm out there trekking around, I hear some dum, 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 dum. It sounds like Jumanji's on the ground. Like, I'm like, oh my God, Jumanji's coming alive. Like, I already love TV shows and movies. I'm like, no. Jumanji, is that you? Jumanji, I know you're available in PlayStation 4 version now because I saw the last movie. I know you're coming in floppy disks and USBs now, but Jumanji, where are you? I hear you calling me. I'm looking on the ground, Jumanji. I'm ready, Jumanji. I want to go. Let me in. Let me in, Jumanji. Let me in. And it wasn't Jumanji, but on the other hand, it was a secret rave in the middle of the forest, nice little area, pitch tent, super cool DJ who actually looked like the guy from Laughing My Arse Off, that band with the big purple afro. What's the song? How does the song go? Oh, I can't even get it. I really want to Google it, but I don't want to waste all of your time. Oh, Party Rocking. Is it Party Rocking, guys? Do you know that song? Yeah, it is. Okay, we're going to play a tiny bit of it and then we're going to go on because it's going to be good vibes for us. It's going to be good vibes for me. How about that? How about that?
If you're looking for quality online tuition that will help you or your child unlock their full potential.
But I mean, this is the kind of energy I think we should be in, and I think afterwards we should all go and listen to this song and just blare it.
Listen up, you young punk. I've had all the girls make out for the whole damn club to see. Let's go. People always say.
Oh, okay, we don't want to get copyright. Oh my god. Oh my god! I might get copyrighted! No more! I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to stop that, and I'm probably going to have to cut all of that out now because the copyright issues are becoming an issue over here. So we're going to be really, really careful. But party rocking, yeah? LMFAO. LMFAO. Laughing my fucking arse off. Abbreviated. That whole song is what the guy looked like. And the music was blaring. Everyone was there chilling. It was a nice vibe. I was in my workout gear. Everyone else was like chilling with a can of like bev something. And everyone was just kind of like hippie vibing it out. And I was not fit for the occasion. Everyone was like tired because they had been partying, they said, since like late last night, like maybe midnight, and it was now like nearly going to 7 a.m, almost 7 a.m. So I was like, whoa. And I was like, why don't I know about this? And they were like, yeah, it's a secret. I was like, well, can I get involved in the secret? Like, how do you talk to each other like through a secret WhatsApp group? I was like, well, can I be part of the secret? And they just looked at me blankly, which meant no. But I was looking like a very serious Karen who would probably report them to the authorities, because they don't, when I talk like this and I present myself in the way I do, people don't know how to perceive me. They don't know. I get motherfucking turned, ho. I get motherfucking turned. So they didn't let me into the club. I'm not very good at making friends. I'm not. I'm socially awkward, and it played out really awkwardly in that situation. And now I don't know when that party's going and if I'm going to stumble on it across the right time to get motherfucking turned. But everything happens for a reason. So we're going to carry on sharing my heartbreak that I did not get accepted into the cool club. But I think I was never built for it. I just don't think I was made for it. But let's keep going as I relive a depressive episode of not being accepted into one of the coolest societies I've come across so far in the local community. But hey-ho. We're looking at Ten of Pentacles, the Hierophant, Seven of Wands, Judgment, and then 2 6s. 6 6. I want to say 666. And then normally when I used to say 666, I used to get really freaked out, like, oh my god. Some people, like, this is the ignorance of the situation, and I want to see where you lie with this, guys, as well, because I think it's important, and this is the main topic of the conversation we're going to pin here as well. Because I remember when my original YouTube, made it to 666 on the subscribers, and I was so scared that anyone else who would go over to my account would think I was a devil and not subscribe. Imagine how petty and silly that is, and imagine where you have to be in the mind space, the brain capacity, the shadow of the situation, to think, oh my god, I'm at uni and I've just told everyone to follow me at uni. Loads of people at uni have just followed me now after a massive speech in one of the lectures that I stood up and spoke about who I am and what I do, and everyone's kind of followed, and now I'm at 666. And a lot of them are very conscious and wary of what I even do. And half of my family have already said that what I believe in, and old colleagues that I've left the job I was at are all claiming my new craft is the devil's work. And now I'm at 666 on YouTube subs. Freaking out I was. Anxious, overwhelmed, wanted to cry. I was like, oh my god, should I just make another account so I can add one more sub? What do I do? Like, and then suddenly it went up to 467, and I was like, yes, oh, finally I'm out of that, or was it 467 or whatever, 666, right? But I think I went through the same awkward phase at 466, if I'm saying that, or it's 46 now, so me and my numbers, don't start me off. But when it went to 667, I was like, oh my god, I'm out of the woods. And then the moment I said it went straight back down to 666 again. And I was anxious for like a day and a half, thinking, oh my god, this is a bad sign. This is a bad sign for my channel. I can't have the subscribers just sitting there at 666. It's not a good look for me. What world have we got to be living in? What ignorance is that? What immaturity is that? What stupid perceptions in the mind is it that someone who genuinely loves God and spirit and light work has to worry about something as stupid and trivial as that? You know? And that's the world we live in. That's what it's like to go into these board meetings and conferences and seminars and corporate arenas, trying to speak on the topics that we do. We're always going to be shunned. And why I think it's so important for me to be where I'm at now and start delivering and transmitting in the way I'm with you is because I've sat in the back. I've sat in the back and I've listened to everyone. I've listened to everything they've said about us and our community and our belief system. That's why I haven't spoken. That's why I haven't activated anything or overly affiliated myself with anyone, because I thought, fuck it, let me sit back. Because if I come to you, you're going to challenge me in this way. I come to you, you're going to piss on me in this way. I come to you, you're going to smile in my face, but then you're going to go off and fuck me over in this way. All of you are going to betray me, Jesus story. But all of you don't agree with my ideologies, because I've heard you speak about your own terrain, your own land, your own ecosystem, and your morals and your moral standing, your moral compass, your integrity and your respect levels. Your own doctrine. Let's talk about doctrine for a minute. This is scary to even go here, but we got to challenge the status quo. But let's talk about doctrine in removed from a religion for a minute, and let's frame the doctrine around ecosystems. Everyone's personal perspective, views, belief system, family, friends, everyone's ecological system, because you should know that by now, so I'm going to keep saying it. I'm hoping you've gone to that content. But everyone's ecological system has its own doctrine. Yeah, its own code, its own formula. If I can look at your ecosystem and understand that your doctrine is not going to align to my doctrine, and everyone's doctrine should be able to align. I've spoken to you about the regions of the world and the separations of the water and the land, and how artificial that is, how ineffective that is for all of us to flourish as one world. That's not going to be possible under these circumstances. So I wouldn't advocate for pushing yourself away from anyone else's doctrine, but we have to understand it. So I like to think that the fact that I've sat in the background for all of these years doing my research and studying these different realms is providing me with the analytics, the framework, the knowledge, the know-how, the anti-oppressive framework that I've been working on intently over the last 3 years to approach anyone else's ecosystem with a clean enough ledger and an authentic standpoint on my decree, my doctrine, but then it still allows place and space for anyone else's doctrine, because I don't like to take away from others. I don't like to belittle others. I know what it means to take away from another. I felt it. I've been taken from years. I know what it feels like to be belittled. So why would I belittle anyone else? That's why I don't understand the racism. That's why I don't understand why Diane Abbott decided to write that to the press. She's got a little bit too comfortable now. Got a little bit too comfortable piping up in those ways. Don't talk about anyone else. Just talk about yourself. That's the best thing. Because it's a situation of we don't need to tear anyone else down for ourselves. We don't. It benefits no one in the community. Yeah? So, they're more privileged than us on the racial hierarchy, so I'm going to say something about it. Focus on you and your lack and your problems and your underprivilege that you keep claiming you have. Speak about how we can help heal that and improve that. Show us the knowledge, the stats, the desire, the action plan, the 10-year plan, the strategic plan to heal and improve your economic imbalances, oppression, the racism you speak so fondly of there. Share how you intend to improve that, other than claiming other people have it better than you and they're not suffering to your degree. What does that do for anyone? Nothing. That's the problem with today's society as well. So it's understanding, don't be the latter. Don't be the Diane Abbott of today. After all of her hard work, where's she going now? Down the pan. Down the pan for her words, imbecile. And I feel rude because I've got so much love for her. But the reason I had so much love for her is because she's a black woman, and I just want to advocate for black people all the time, in any way and shape or form I can. But once again, you make a mistake, and we got to put people in their position and let them know you can't speak on other people like that. If you know racism for real, which you do, Diane, because you are the leading black woman in the industry when it comes to the house. I don't know any other black women in the house that have had the clout, the attention, and the significance that you had. The impact. How dare I be rude? You've had an incredible impact, Diane. Incredible. But you got a little too leery, lost your way, and started piping up about other races. We can't fight racism with more racism. You can't try and create a hierarchy of racism. Not here. No, it's not going to wash with anyone. I don't think that's okay. And, I'm not going to talk about Kwasi because I always throw Kwasi in because I love Kwasi to pieces. I'm really devastated that he got thrown out. Then we got Fucking Liz over here piping up talking about woke people. Don't, Liz. I wish you were woke for more than 44 fucking days, love. About you want to stand up in America on fucking stage screaming, the woke are doing this, the woke are doing that. Wish you were woke for more than 44 fucking days, love. Then I might take you seriously. Sorry. Well, I got a gripe with Liz. Because Kwasi had to leave because of that. Do you know how hard it is for people of colour to get into a stabilised position in society? Diane threw hers away like that because she wanted to glorify blackness by tearing down other racial struggles in society. That was a poor move, especially when you have your own constituents. So yeah, you're going to now suffer for that, and that's unfortunate because you have been an incredible advocate. For me, especially as a black woman, I really truly value your contributions. But then also on the hands of Kwasi, he's had how many jobs, he's been working his arse off. He's also been caught up with scandal. Poor Kwasi got caught up in scandal with Matt Hancock. How embarrassing. Matt Hancock cheating in the office during COVID, snogging during COVID, and then running off to the jungle. How embarrassing that my lovely sweet Kwasi's got dragged into all of that then. But you know what? Not everyone here knows about the politics of the United Kingdom, so I'm going to rein it in and get back to the reading. But fucking hell, I could lose my shit, I could. I get real cockney over there and real British when it comes to my team. My corporate team, I tell you. And people... Too funny, okay? But on that note as well, gypsies. I'm actually mixed, right? And I talk a lot with... Actually, I haven't spoken to my great-gran and my great-aunt in a while in spirit. But while my nan was still alive and when my nan was getting ready to pass over, they were with me all the time and I learned a lot about them. And then I would go to my uncle and my nan and I would ask them questions saying, I've got Lillian with me here, I've got this person, I've got that, and I'm getting information. And that's when I really started to learn that Lillian's my nan's aunt, and Rose and like my whole ancestry basically started to fall into my hands. And I started to build a really strong bond with my great aunt and my great nan. Where my great nan was actually raised my nan because she passed away. My nan's mum passed away when she was really young, like in her 20s. So yeah, there's a long story, but there is gypsy heritage in our line, and there is tea leaf readers as well. My great aunt Lillian reading tea leaves. There's a whole story about our history as somewhat gypsy travellers. And I don't think that even my family alive on the white side of the family actually even know the extent of it. And I don't even know how I would validate that. I never even shared that we got gypsy blood because I wouldn't know how to validate it. And it just sounds silly to bring up because they speak a lot about the luck of the Irish. And I don't think I've got any Irish connections. We're fully British from what my uncles told me on that side of the family, who I'm kind of closest to at this point. And yeah, it's just fascinating. So when I hear her Diane also speaking on gypsies, oh, don't you start me off. You dare say a word about gypsies, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it over here. So I'll lose it about anyone. Just keep it clean. So this is also the last thing I'm going to tap in on as well, because we're on race today, so I guess it's important. But I've spoken in other content about how upsetting it is to see how all the white and black content that's coming out. So all these kind of trending, really viral YouTube videos or TikTok reels where white people are being asked whether or not they like their skin colour or they're proud of their skin colour, and they're saying no. And all the black people are like, I'm proud of my skin colour, and all the white people are saying, I'm not proud of my skin colour. And the white people are saying, I feel like I'm not allowed to be proud of my skin colour. And all the black people are saying, yeah, I'm proud because of black power, I've been through all of this stuff. And it just shows me how the divide and racism still exists today so rifely, and it breaks my heart. I've also seen quite a lot of black content out there where a load of black people are just talking really disgustingly about white people, and they're tearing them down and saying that they're this and they're white supremacist and all white people are this. Like really, like there's one, it was going viral, so many of you guys may have seen it, but it was like, the question was, I think it was on the Cult YouTube channel, and it was like, what's the first word that comes to mind when you think about white people? And it was just a whole cast of black people that was asked that question. And every single response was unbelievably racist. And if they reversed the question and said that about white people, made a whole cast of white people say that about black people, it would be in uproar. It would be seen so differently. And we can't look at race from one side and say racism only exists in this way, racism only exists in that way, racism is stronger here, racism is not really important here, because that's all lies. Racism is racism. Prejudice is prejudice. Judgment is judgment. We shouldn't be going around here, especially as black people, right? If we keep claiming as black people, which I am mixed, but I am black. And to look at me, you wouldn't know I'm mixed. You would think I'm black, straight up and out, right? So the simple situation is, for me understanding racism as a black person, I would never dare be racist to anyone else in my life, because I know what racism is. I know what it feels like. I know what my people have gone through. I know what my ancestors have gone through. So why would I perpetuate that kind of behavior? Why would I mimic, roll, speak on, or recreate such an awful ideology in today's society? No way. Stay away from it. You don't want to create another ideology or another incentive that is negative and has hurt so many people and created barriers and blockages and segregation and severe abuse in different communities. No, why would you do it? You want to break it. You want to break the ancestral curse. You want to liberate your community, so you speak positive words about them and to them and ooze that into the atmosphere. You don't go to another race who you perceive to have it better and go white privilege, which I actually do, but I do it as a joke. And actually, when I speak on white privilege, this is also an issue, because I've had lectures about this, serious debates with people, with a room full of students going back and forth on white privilege. And a lot of people over their 40s, if you're a 40-year-old white person, a lot of them will not believe privilege exists, white privilege exists. And it becomes a massive insult and an offence to them to even say that white privilege is a thing. I've seen it with my own eyes at how devastated they are. I'm also aware that I'm mixed. Half of my family are white. On my dad's side of the family, he only knew the white side of his family. So I've seen the struggle of what it meant for my dad to be mixed, not have any black heritage or any black lineage he was aware of, grow up just only really considering himself to be white, but knowing his skin colour wasn't totally white and there was a difference there, feeling somewhat outcasted in the white community, but identifying as white. Really, my dad identified as white for a long time, very light skin, mixed race person, very light, even though you can see he was mixed, but he's very light. So with all of that, I'm aware of the struggles. So, and I'm aware of my nan's struggles as well. She used to get spit at in the street when she had him in the buggy. Little baby with an afro walking down the street in the 60s. What the fuck? You know what I mean? It wasn't okay. So I heard the stories. I understand the upbringing, and I wouldn't want to perpetuate that. But white privilege is a thing still. And anyone who's willing to hear me on that, go and watch Brown Eyes, Blue Eyes experiment with Jane Elliott. That's all I can ever do. I wouldn't want to change your opinion, and I would never call you racist. Never. I don't know you personally. But white privilege is a thing in different social circles and in the community. The colour of your skin is making a difference, along with stereotypes. And obviously, in relation to Jewish people as well, the way in which they're seen, they are experiencing the same thing. So as Diane Abbott is chatting shit, right, saying, oh, the gypsies don't have it as badly as Jewish people, gypsies and Jewish people don't have it badly as black people, that's a lie. That's a lie. She's saying, because you see my colour first. And that's been a debate in the black community for a long time. It's because you see my colour first. That's why you're more privileged than me, white people, because you see you're fine, but everyone sees my colour first. Well, we actually do. White is still a colour. We actually do see they're white. It's just that we in our minds choose to glorify them as the privileged. We're calling them, we call white people privileged because we look at them as the privileged. Because inherently, if we go back to slavery days, they were the privileged. So in our minds, inherently, we've been raised with the ideology that they are indeed the privileged. So we call them the privileged because we've been taught to believe they are the privileged. Once again, they've always been house people. They've never been barn people. They've never been picking cotton. So they can't relate to our journey and our experience. Do you get what I mean? But in the same breath, you look at a gypsy, or let's just say you hear a gypsy, you know a gypsy. Gypsies are fucking amazing. They're ballsy. They're confident. They're bubbly. They have a specific kind of aesthetic, a specific kind of look. You're not always going to know it, but if a gypsy starts speaking, you're going to hear the twang. You're going to get the personality. Oh, I love a gypsy. I love a gypsy. I love the authenticity and the indigeny of it, let's be honest, because they are an indigenous group. Beautiful souls, beautiful way to live. No, we don't need a specific roof over our head. Yes, we can travel anywhere we want to. Yes, we're free. Making good money in their community as well. Doing really well. Really love it. Jewish people, the same thing. Straight away you know if someone is Jewish. We can identify that straight away. So black people do not have control and hierarchy here because your skin is black. We can see that white people are white. We can see that black people are black. So black people, you thinking you see my colour straight away. That's why. But I also see that white person's colour straight away. I also see that Jewish person straight away. And I also will be very quick to identify the gypsy as well. Not only that, Eastern European. I'll identify you. Someone just coming over here who hasn't got any English. I'm going to identify you as well because the moment you speak to me, you're not speaking my language. So yeah, maybe first, twice, second, third or fourth removed from the immediate awareness that you are slightly different than me. But what is different? What is the stereotype? Because we're all not fucking descendants of King Charles, are we? We are not all Prince Charles and Camilla's children, are we? Harry and Meghan can attest to that. The milkman's son, shall we talk about? And the poor Archie, who's too black for the monarchy. Goodness me, I'm going to stop. Because we didn't come here to tear the institution down and get in trouble bringing up intensive conversations that could land me in some hot water if I say the wrong thing. So let me see what else wants to come out, considering we really are in for an hour and a bit here. But it's about the judgment. It is, and I'm still waiting on my ancestry. If you guys are engaging with my content, please just hit me with some laugh emojis, because I need a full ancestry test to work out what heritage is in my DNA. My past on loved ones have told me, Lillian specifically, my great aunt, has told me that we do have gypsy blood. Gypsy traveller is in our heritage, along with being... She said she used to have a wagon and drink tea and read tea leaves. She also taught me how to read tea leaves. One time when I was just channeling and connecting with her, and it was pretty accurate, and I'd never done it before. So I really do believe in that, but I have to get my DNA checked in that area and like the other kind of like Irish links and see if anything like that is existing. But not only that, I want to check my dad's dad, because I believe that my dad's dad was half black and half Asian. From the way in which my dad looked, I do believe that I have Asian DNA. And I haven't had that confirmed, and I want to have that looked into. But once again, everything takes time and money and requirements that I currently don't have. So we are waiting and attempting to get unstuck in those areas of life, so I can confirm and affirm those narratives. And I can't wait to come back to all of you guys eventually. I'm going to do a paternity court version, because all I do is watch paternity court. The results are in. The DNA is in. So keep your eyes peeled for that. The DNA is in content, because that's when we're going to find out exactly what my DNA says, and we're going to look at every element of my heritage and what really exists and lies there. Could come out with something very interesting, highlighting that my mum isn't my mother. I long believe that. My father isn't my father. I actually belong to the outer species. Brahma is my actual father, and I am actually an alien, and the FBI have already come, and special agents, NSA, have already swooped in and taken me and all of my devices. So if I ever do go off grid for more than a week and you don't hear from me at all, the DNA was in. I am indeed a grey. who wasn't meant to be here, living in secret, and now I've outed myself. So really, someone's going to have to come around and check for me and start putting out posts saying, where is the hermatologist? The government's intervened. But we're going to wrap up. And I'm just going to look at a few cards here that talk about letting go of the darker side of self and understanding that if you lie to yourself about these darker moments, you won't allow yourself to really get to the crossroads in life where you compromise with the dark and the light to really balance out your yin and yang and your masculine and feminine, because we need the purges to help us truly align to the masculine or feminine vibration, because sometimes we're so deeply in the yin or so deeply in the yang that when we do have to transition, it requires a lot of commitment, it requires a lot of work, it requires a lot of soul union. I always laugh when I talk about twin flames or soul union, because I remember who I used to be and I get the ick and I get cringed when I was used to be obsessed with the twin flame journey. I must meet my twin flame, he's out there. And I used to do twin flame readings all the time, and I still now and then like to tap into the DF and DM kind of readings on the channel and put some content around that. But I remember how needy and obsessive I used to be about finding my twin flame, which makes me not want to do them that much, because I don't want other people to fall into that vibration. It's an awful trap, you know. Because the truth is, and once again, power to the non-binary and the trans who are aware of gender and yin and yang and masculine and feminine and twin flames from a 3D standpoint. They're still seeking and searching and going through the psychological, spiritual awakening, mind, body and soul to truly align to their yin and yang and their twin flame, their inner and outer selves, because that's what the journey is. The twin flame journey is you being able to keep your inner flame, your inner light burning when the wind is howling. Yeah? Because the vision I get is, imagine your heart chakra is nothing but a lonely candle from the Victorian times, just sitting there with one little finger to go in and hold it. And that's the room where all the light goes to, the heart, the chakra, the heart center, the center of the body. Yeah? And right then and there, that one candle is there, flickering. But all of your chakras are running up and down into that heart space. So when you're having insecurities and worries about finance and stuff like that, whoa, your root chakra is flying up with a gush of wind straight into the heart chakra. And if your heart chakra isn't strong enough, you haven't got enough TP or enough protection, porters, shelter, roofing around your heart chakra, whoa, is that wind going to blow that light right out? And then where are you? Dark night of the soul. You can't, you're on a twin flame journey. You're seeking to light that flame again from within. So you're going to have to go through other elements of your chakra, go back down to the root, reignite the light in your root so it can travel up and mirror back into your heart chakra, because that's what the twin flame journey is. That's what soulmates are, twin flames are. Imagine your truest soulmate is your chakras. The love your root chakra has for the sacral. The love your sacral has for its solar plexus. The love your solar plexus has for its heart. The love for your heart that your throat has. Do you get what I mean? That's the true soul mate there. They're the truest mates I've ever known. God, that sounds really cheesy. Cheesy? Who am I? Is this who I've become? I just said chakras are the truest soulmates I've ever known. Oh, I need to get off the call. I'm sick to my stomach with all this cringe. Because it's so true. It's so true. It's so beautifully profound and true, in my opinion. Let's stop seeking the external, because if our root chakra really does look at our sacral with all this love and lust and desire, because we're allowed to be lusty in the sacral, then, oh my God, am I fulfilled and won? Oh, how sexy is the thought of my root chakra and my sacral making love? Why not? That's why I love polyamory ideologies, and I've never really lived a polyamory life other than multiple open dating experiences, which I just say is polyamory because it's the easiest way to express the transmutation of energy. But my chakra making love to my root, and my sacral then making love to my solar, and my solar making love to my heart, and my heart making love to my throat, and my throat making love to my third eye, and my third eye making love to my crown, and my crown just bursting out making love to every other chakra that exists across the spectrum. Ooh-wee! That sounds like union, baby. That sounds like the greatest twin flame union I have ever known. That is sexy. That is orgasmic. That is the true love that we should all be craving for every day we live and breathe. And I'm going to leave it there. Love, light, and prosper, my friends.